organic growth meaning that you just put your head down in your business and you're just gonna grow 20, 30%, whatever you're doing year over year. So some pros is that you do have control and a sense of accomplishment in that. You can control exactly what's going on in your company, and I'm a business owner and I know control is a big thing for us, so that's good. And then cons, it can be a slower way to grow and you can end up actually spending more capital, taking a little bit more risk, and sometimes things work out, sometimes they don't. There's an example of a sign company we worked with actually in Detroit. Another con, I think, too, is that if your competitors are pursuing acquisition, they can outpace you. So this sign company we were working with in Detroit, one of their competitors was the biggest sign shop, family owned and operated in the city, and there was really only 5. So when they decided to sell, their broker went to the other 4 and said, hey, you've got till the end of the week to make your offer. And it was gonna sell to somebody, and if this guy didn't end up winning that deal, he could have gotten crushed by one of his competitors. He ended up winning the deal, and his revenue went from 10 million or 2 million to 10 million overnight. But if he had been on the other side of that as one of the competitors, that could have been a significant disadvantage for him. Do you have anything to add to organic growth?
All I would say is that organic growth is, I mean, that every company pursues organic growth. It's just part of the DNA of the company. That's what they do. They've got a company, a product, a service, and they're trying to grow their business. When they want to step out into new markets, into new technologies, when they want to grow beyond what organic growth can do, really, it's, the acquisition side is really their only path to do it feasibly. And we just see that more and more now with companies that realize that one by one addition of clients is not going to get them the enterprise value that they want. And it's a better risk for them to do acquisitions rather than try to open up a market and open up an office in a new market or something like that. So acquisitions is the best path forward for those kind of growth plans.
And just want to mention some examples of strategies that larger companies use for growth through acquisition. So one is like when you see a disruption in your market, you can either compete with that disruption or you can acquire them and either pull them into your company or shut them down. And Salesforce is pretty famous for doing this. So anytime a new CRM rolls out that's kind of a competitor to Salesforce, you'll see very shortly afterwards that there's an acquisition announcement. Generational acquisitions, so there's certain industries that are aging right now. CPAs, financial planners, a lot of industries that have aging professionals in them. So you'll see a lot of acquisition in those markets. Consolidation, so you'll see certain industries that the movement is towards consolidation. I think the best example we have is the ski industry right now. I mean, Vail and Aspen are now in this war of how can I buy the most ski resorts the fastest. So that's another strategy for acquisition. And then economies of scale, requiring somebody where you can eliminate redundancies and expenses. We're going to talk a little bit about that today too.